Today I'll be going over my binds and my sensitivity that I use for keyboard and mouse and controller. I'm going to go over my controller binds and settings first, mainly just because I'm probably a bit more consistent on editing on controller. Doing stuff like this. So for my controller binds, first let's go for sensitivity. You can see I'm using 2x sensitivity. I've used 2x sensitivity for about probably like 6 months. I haven't really been playing controller nearly as much anymore, but like these are still the settings I use. I use 43% and 45% for horizontal and vertical. Now, for me personally, I just really don't like using any of the vertical or horizontal boosts. I just really don't like the boosts. I just don't use them. For my ADS speed, I like to have it a bit higher than some people, so I can like aim a bit faster for like people in the air and stuff like that. Let's go back down. So 13%, 16% is what I use. Still don't use any boosts. I just really don't like it. I use exponential. I don't think I've ever really changed that. Now I am using a Hall effect controller, so it like I can really just put this all the way down, but it doesn't really matter. Now for my binds. So for my binds, I'm using 4 paddles, but I used to play on a PS5 controller that had 2 paddles. Before that, I didn't even have paddles. So my binds, with and without paddles, are still pretty similar. I use sprint on right on the D-pad. It's more comfortable for PlayStation controllers, I find, to do that. Just because you can kind of just switch to like left-hand claw for like a little couple of seconds every single time you want to sprint, or just stay like that the whole time. It works pretty well. That's what I used to use. Now for my edit button, I'm using left stick, and that's basically really my only binds that are different for controller than the normal ones. I do use edit on release for both keyboard and controller, and no pre-edits. Now for my keyboard settings and binds, I tend to play it significantly more often than I play controller now, but I don't practice my free builds as much, so I am a bit more consistent. Now for my keyboard sensitivity, which is what I'm going to start off with first, you can see here I'm using 6.5% for my x-axis sensitivity and my y-axis sensitivity, with a 39.8% targeting sensitivity and scope sensitivity. I try and keep these pretty similar. Same thing with on controller, because I want everything to be similar-ish. These are always keep these at 100%. I don't know who would keep these lower. I do play controller sometimes, so I keep these on. That's basically it for my sensitivity. Now for my binds, there's only a couple things I keep different. The main thing are, I'm just gonna go over my like building binds first and my movement bind. But my building binds, I use F to edit. I use my top mouse button for wall, and I use my bottom mouse button for ramp, because I just want to keep the main two, probably the most important builds, directly on my mouse, so it's just way easier to hit. I keep Q and E both on, which are floor and cone. Keep those right next to my WASD, so it's significantly easier to hit. Now for my binds, they're different than normal. I also have T on trap, but I don't really use it as much. I have scroll reset, normal. For my 5th slot, I just use X instead of anything else, because it's a 60% keyboard, and I think using X is a lot easier for my hands. For crouch and slide, I use Alt, just because I can't hit control with my pinky finger, so I just changed to that. For me, it works significantly better, because the only binds I have different.